What's up, everybody? We're Mel here, another review, and today we're back with part 2 of my thoughts on The Mandalorian. This time we're in part 2, so this is season 2, which aired between October 30th until December 18th of 2020. And this is a continuation. This time, the main goal of Mando trying to find the child's people, the Jedi, which there's a lot of things here, which I think season 2 has to be the best because it brings some characters from both the original and the animated series into the live action version, and also, fun fact, this filming for season 2. The filming for season 2 takes place between October 2019 to March 2020, 15 days before the beginning of the pandemic. Yeah. As you know, there are 8 episodes for each season, so let's go, boys. And before we begin, did you subscribe? Did you hit the bell? If so, are you ready to scream like a little schoolgirl after seeing this? Because how do you just want to see these characters in live action? So yeah, season 2. I don't know, bring back the cast like Pedro Pascal as Mando, aka Din Djarin. We also have returning characters like Amy Sedaris as Peli Motto, the mechanic on Tatooine. Who else? We saw Gina Carano, which it'll be her final appearance in season 2 due to a certain, well, we all know what happened. She was fired after the end of season 2 due to her comments, which I say a bunch of people don't know how to handle comments. And a lot of people kind of defended her, but Disney said, nope, you're out. We also have other people who are returning, like, well, I'm not going to spoil everything. There's a whole lot. When I say a lot, I mean a lot. So let's begin, shall we? Well, so we start off with season 1, episode 1, or episode 9, in chronological order, called Chapter 9, The Marshal, which was directed and written by Jon Favreau. We have an opening scene where Mando's walking in some strange town. We get to see some good distance, which is actually pretty cool. I remember watching the trailer, watching some reactions of the trailer for season 2, and a lot of people try to guess this is La Fall because of the graffiti, and plus the love cat, of course. But no, Mando's looking for other Mandalorians to help him find the Jedi, so he can take his child to them as part of his task. Soon, he's sent on a trail to guess where. There's a Mandalorian in Tatooine. Which, of course, he arrives at Mos Eisley, talks to Peli, which, of course, reveals... That's her name? Peli? Yeah. Which, of course, she's giddy of the child, because why not? If I recall comment, she wants to put him in the petting zoo one time. Of course, when Mando mentions that, she mentions there's one place which is believed to be a ghost town, which is called Mos Pelgo, which was a mining town, but no one's heard from that for a long time, so that's where Mando goes, and he takes a speeder over there along with the child. Soon they arrive at Mos Pelgo, it's like a thriving mining town. He talked to a bartender, asking if there's another Mandalorian. He turns around, and what do we behold? Well, looks like a Mandalorian. And to tell you the truth, seeing that, and we all know whose armor is that. That is Boba Fett's armor, and when it turns out to be the Marshal, called Cobb Vance, played by sorry, by Timothy Oliphant. And this is the first time Cobb a character that first appeared in the novel Star Wars Aftermath, which is it's kind of like the conclusion of what happened after Return of the Jedi, when there were main battles. Include one was the decisive victory over the planet of Jakku, where we see the graveyard of Star Destroyer equaling the wreck of a Super Star Destroyer. Yeah. Which Covet is the only character from a novel to appear in live action. Which, actually, when he took his helmet off, but man was kind of surprised and asked him where he got the armor. Which tells us the story how he got the armor. Which takes place, looks like, during the time of around episode 6, where we see a news holo projecting the destruction of the second Death Star. Everybody's celebrating until a group of mine collectors start massacring the people. The only who survived were the bartender and Cobb. Soon he managed to survive. He was saved by Jawas. What's the offering parts until he spotted the both his armor. And he managed to use that armor and his weapons to defeat the Mighty Collective and become Marshal of Mos Pelgo. Which, of course, Mando wants the armor because he's not Mandalorian. He's about to challenge her until they're erupted by a Krayt Dragon. And this is the first time we see a Krayt Dragon, because it was first, heard from episode 4, where you see Obi-Wan making a Krayt Dragon noise to scare off the Tusken Raiders after they managed to knock out Luke. There was an agreement where Vanth agrees to give Mando the armor back to its people in exchange for killing the Krayt Dragon. Of course, there's another issue. There's also Mando arranges an agreement between the people of Mos Pelgo and a local clan of Tusken Raiders, since, let's just say, they keep raiding them and he keeps shooting them, which is beginning an issue, but decide to work together to defeat the dragon, which the Tuskens know how to lure Krayt Dragon out. When you arrive at its lair, which is a former Sarlacc pit, which of course the Krayt Dragon must describe that the damn thing ate the Sarlacc through the hole. Soon, they managed to lure the damn thing out with explosives. Soon, things didn't go out where until Mando managed to use what do you call these beasts? The ones they ride, the Tuskens ride? A Bantha? Loaded with explosives. Managed to get that eaten, and then Mando jumps inside the beast. Electrifying inside since he had a staff. Press the trigger, boom, the beast is dead. And they find a pearl. During the whole mess, the Tuskens managed to salvage some of the meat from the Krayt Dragon, including a pearl, which was in the beast, which is rare for them. Soon, a deal's a deal. Vanth gives the armor to Mando, and when Mando leaves, lo and behold, we see somebody watching Mando leaving. And guess who it is? Boba Fett. How do we know? Well, I don't remember clones in Tatooine, and this is Boba Fett with scars, and he looks like he wants to get his armor back. Which ends right there. So after that, we have episode 2, or chapter 10, The Passenger. Mando arrives back in Mos Eisley, where he meets Peli, having a game of sabacc with this creature, which I forgot the name of this creature, but this creature appeared in Legends in the comics, which is, I can't remember the name of the creatures, but these species are the enemies of a certain famous droid general. The Kali? No, these are the mortal enemies of General Grievous' people. I forgot the name of these things. They're like insect-like creatures. And we have a live action one right there playing some back with Pelly, which is actually pretty cool. I forgot the name of these species, but damn. It's kind of cool they're bringing back not just characters from the original trilogy, the anime, including other species from canon to legend, like these species, which they appear in, I don't know, legends or canon? These species were the enemies of General Grievous' people for a long time. Even cried bloody murder to get the Republic to defeat General Grievous' people. When in fact, they're the ones who attacked them for a long time. So the men get information about a passenger who is actually a dubbed frog species called, well, Frog Lady, because she is the last of her kind, and she has eggs that need to be fertilized since they need to be the last of her kind, and also repopulate her species, carrying a tank of her eggs. Problem. I think this is the episode that people got starting to get pissed off because Grogu was eating the damn fucking eggs. Which people call him, he's committing genocide. You idiots, he's only a baby. He doesn't know if I'm right or wrong. He's just hungry. Even man caught him 3 times. 4 if you count him hiding one behind his back. Damn, he tried to eliminate an entire species. The frog lady mentions that due to the egg's fragility, they must travel at sublight speeds on their way to Trask. They've been confronted by 2 X-wing fighters, which above an icy planet. Which turns out Mando is wanted by the New Republic for his role in the prison break. A chase endures inside the ice planet, which of course he crash lands on the planet. While Mando fixes the ships, the child sails upon. Let's just say the frog lady has a little swim in the hot springs along with the eggs. And the child finds more eggs, but let's just say the wrong kind. The child has encountered a nest of these spider-like creatures, which they are first seen in Star Wars Rebels on Chopper base. And not before that. It was way before, because they were a concept art for the species on Dagobah for Episode 5, where Luke encounters them on Dagobah for Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. And they were never used until their first appearance in Star Wars Rebels Season 2, I believe? No, Season 3 on Chopper base. And these are ice creatures compared to I think these are a different type of. I think they survive on both dry and ice. So a massive fight ensues. Mando, the child, and the frog lady are trapped in the Razor Crest until they were saved by the pilots from the X-Wing, which of course they explain that because Mando helped apprehend the criminals in the prison break, they'll drop the arrest warrant and leave them with a warning. But unfortunately, they don't help him, so after Mando finishing the prayers, the tattered Razor Crest takes off and it resumes its journey to Trask. Wow. And you got John Favreau and I forgot the other name. Played the rebel pilots, Republic officers. So we get to Chapter 3, Episode 3, or Chapter 11, The Heiress, which is directed by Bryce Dallas Howard and written by John Favreau. At Trask, they managed to arrive, which of course, engine failure, they managed to land, but fall in the water, which is some type of water planet. We see like Mon Calamari creatures like the calamari. Soon, the frog lady is reunited with her husband. Also tells her, directed where the Mandalorians are located them in. We see a Mon Cal fishermen offer him to take Mando and the child to where they find, but fortunately, they've been ambushed. One of them pushes the child into the water where a beast swallows his pod. where Mando jumps in, but he's trapped in there as well. As he's being attacked, a group of Mandalorians appeared and defeat the calamari, who is led by none other than Bo-Katan Kryze. If you don't remember her, she made her first appearance in Star Wars The Clone Wars as a member of Death Watch and Pre Vizsla's right-hand commander. Until she left Death Watch after the untimely death of Pre Vizsla at the hands of Darth Maul, forming the Night Owls and igniting the war between hers and including the Super Commandos led by Darth Maul. Which we all know that from the Siege of Mandalore to Rebels. And she's played by Casey. I forgot her. Pronounce her name. Katie Sackhoff. Not only does she voice the character, she played her in this episode as well. And she looks exactly like her. Like her character, which is actually pretty cool. They got her right on the spot. Fortunately, this is when they remove their helmets, that's when Mando starts to criticize again. But this is when we learn that when Bo-Katan explains that she is Mandalorian, but when Mando asks why they took their helmets off, that's when one of her comrades mentioned he's one of them. That's when Mando hears that he's one of what? That's when she mentions the Children of the Watch, a group of zealous cult that broke away from Mandalore that followed the ancient way of the Mandalore, which, yeah, that's what they are. The cult. That's what Mando is. But soon Mando leaves until when he returns back to the docks, he's surrounded by the fishermen until Bo-Katan and her troops manage to take them down and offer them to join them for a meal. She explains she enlists his help to seize weapons from the Imperial freighter in exchange for information of the Jedi, which of course she knows about the Jedi. And she knows one. After they see the freighter, but first he leaves the child to the Frog Lady and her husband to keep an eye on, which he tells them to behave, which of course he witnessed one of the babies to be hatching from the egg. Next day, they managed to raid the freighter. Of course, it became more complicated, and guess who? What freighter is going to? The Imperial captain is instructed by Moff Gideon from a hologram to crash the ship and sacrificing their lives. Which, of course, Bo-Katan's main goal is to. As they arrive at the bridge, Bo-Katan manages to apprehend the captain, demanding where's Moff Gideon, including the Darksaber, but the captain kills himself. But fortunately, when she's about to leave, Mando said a deal's a deal. Now I need information. That's when she says to meet with Ahsoka Tano. There you see her on the forest planet of Corvus. Which, yeah. After that, Mando picks up the child. The Razor Crest is well partially repaired. And they leave and continue on their journey. And yeah. Still, we get to episode 4 or chapter 12, The Siege, where we're back on Navarro, which of course because Mando wants his ship repaired. Well, face it, they need to repair the ship because they won't get anywhere near Corvus with that ship being damaged. Of course, they get detour to Navarro where they are reunited with Cara Dune and Greef Karga. In the opening credit, we see Cara Dune taking out a couple of, I forgot the name of these species. They're like bandits. And managed to stop them doing like a robbery heist, I think. Soon, while the Razor Crest is being repaired, Mando is shown how much things have been improved on Navarro since the last time he was there. Under the stewardship of Karga as magistrate and Dune as marshal, the last challenge they are facing is a remaining Imperial base. And he asks Mando to help them destroy the base. First, he leads the challenge to what was once the bar is now a school, which is actually pretty funny. Soon, they mass around the base, which of course had to sneak in. They also brought in an extra pair of hands. A character named Cossack Reeves, who first appeared in the first episode of Mandalorian, who was wanted, and he was put on carbonite. But managed to serve his time as a receptionist to pay his dues. Yeah. So as they walk around the base, that's when they notice strange things, like tanks full of almost like clone-like. Soon they encountered a data recording, like a message between Dr. Pershing and guess who it is? Moff Gideon. They're shocked what they see. They thought Moff Gideon was killed. They thought, oh, it has to be an older recording. When you check the date, it was recent, so Moff Gideon survived his crash. And in the recording, he was talking about the specimen he needed, the child's DNA. Soon, they managed to arrive at the reactor, shut down the shield, and about to destroy the place. Mando managed to use jetpack, while Karga, Kara, and Reeves use a troop transport to escape until they are being attacked by TIE fighters. But Mando managed to defeat the fighters with his repaired ship. As Mando and the child leave for Corvus, unaware, a tracker has been planted on the Ridge Crest by an Imperial spy, which informs Moff Gideon that he still has the child. And we see him on board his flagship, which we see him looking at a bunch of dark troopers, which already, if you don't know, those type of troopers appeared in, I think, many, both legend and canon. I think most recent was in Star Wars Rebels. Looks similar to like Thrawn's bodyguards, if you recall, including the security droids for around season 3 and season 2. Finally, we arrive at episode 5 or chapter 13, The Jedi. The opening credit, we see the planet Corvus, where we see this is like something from World War I. A couple of troops hunted down, and guess who appears for the first time in her live-action debut, Ahsoka Tano. At first, I remember people started to first hated her character until they slowly like her. How so? It's actually pretty funny, if you ask me. Ahsoka demands that the magistrate Morgan Elsbeth and her guards to surrender, but she refuses. And leaves the night. Next day, Mando and the child arrive, which of course Morgan looks like she's expecting him, since she asks that she wants to hire, including her guard, going to hire a mercenary named Lang. Elsbeth offers Mando to give him a Beskar spear in exchange for killing Ahsoka, which she says because the Mandalorians and Jedi were ancient mortal enemies, which makes a good challenge. Mando accepts, which of course he will find Ahsoka until she jumps on him, thinking attacking to start the fight, until he calls by her name and tells her that Bo-Katan sent her. That's when Ahsoka gazes on the child, which of course that gives her memories of a certain Jedi Master from her time. During the night, she's with the child alone while Mando's over there. After they're done, that's when Ahsoka determines using the Force, she determines that the child's name is Grogu, which, of course, when Mando says Grogu, he looks up at him. She mentions that Grogu was trained at the Jedi Temple, like many other younglings, until Order 66 happened, and somehow someone rescued him from the Jedi Temple during the attack. Which, of course, most of it is hidden, since he represses memory, so you don't want to remember everything what happened to him during that time. But, of course, Ahsoka agrees to train Grogu. They start testing her strength until she mentions she cannot train him because Grogu is attached to him, which she's seen what happens to a Jedi. He couldn't fully train one, which it kind of remembers what happened to her master Anakin. We all know what happened. He became, let's just say, he became attached to the love of his life, Padme, which of course drove him to the dark side, and Grogu, which of course she remembers. She reminds him of his master, a Jedi named Yoda, who is the same species as him. But of course, they agree. He helps her defeat Elsbeth, overpower the guards, free the citizens, and Mando kills Lang. Ahsoka has a fight between Elsbeth. She uses the Beskar spear to fight against Ahsoka's lightsabers, but unfortunately she lost. And here's the biggest cliche ever. When Ahsoka has her unarmed, she demands ask her, "Where is your master? Where is Grand Admiral Thrawn?" I remember when I heard that name, I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Ahsoka is looking for Grand Admiral Thrawn. And we all know what this is leading to. Even during the season finale of Star Wars Rebels, we see Ahsoka as leaving Lothal to find Ezra because they knew Ezra was still alive. The last time I saw him, he managed to took Thrawn with him along with the Puggles to the unknown regions, so he will never attack again, which became a massive victory for the Rebels. If Thrawn remained, the Rebel Alliance would have been destroyed. Which, of course, she's looking for Ezra, and the only way you can find him is by finding Grand Admiral Thrawn. Soon afterwards, the town has a new magistrate, and Ahsoka still refuses to train Grogu, but due to his close attachment to Mando, she directs him to the ancient temple on the planet Typhon, which this planet has been mentioned in legends because it's the birthplace of the Jedi. The first temple in the Old Republic, before the Old Republic, around the High Republic. And they continue on their way. Which Grogu has to choose his own fate, to remain a Jedi or not. Which, of course, she gives him the Beskar Spear, which is also his payment, which, of course, yeah. Finally, we arrive at Episode 6, Chapter 14, The Tragedy. This was directed by Robert Rodriguez and written by Jon Favreau as Mando and Grogu, which, of course, Mando is teasing Grogu by calling him by his name. He did a little test by using the little ball that Grogu likes. He told him to use the Force to grab it until he curses, say, fuck! Well, Farnick. Which, of course, kind of upsets Grogu, but he's apologized because, of course, he is actually strong. They arrive at Typhon, which is a long walk, so he uses jetpack to arrive at the spot. Unfortunately, everything went until a ship appeared, and guess what it was? The Slave One appears. And he's being followed by Boba Fett. He manages to, somehow, when he turns around, Grogu somehow activated he's like he's doing a meditating pose. Well, unfortunately, he doesn't have time. As he slowly walks down, he gets ambushed. And guess who appears? Boba Fett. Demanding Mando to give him his armor, which of course Mando also, he doesn't give his armor. The child will be killed, which I guess who's up there as well? Fennec Shan, which Mando remembers she was left for dead on Tatooine. Of course, they both make a deal, they lower the weapons, and also his jetpack. Fennec Shan climbs down, which of course she comments, "You look, you just saw a ghost," which of course turns out she survived because both had saved her life by taking her to give her upgrades, which, remember, she died. She was wounded, severely wounded with a gut shot wound to the stomach, which of course they replaced her stomach with like cybernetic implants on her abdominal region, which we've seen there is a bit creepy, if you ask me. Soon they hear another ship coming in, an Imperial troop transport, which of course they get to action. Mando goes to the kid, which of course a fight ensued between stormtroopers, between Fennec Shan and Boba Fett. Boba Fett managed to take out a squad of stormtroopers with a gaffy stick. Jesus. Soon he managed to see the Razor Crest and he sees his armor. Meanwhile, Fennec Shan managed to take out them with the sniper and then crushes them with a boulder. Mando joins and helps her, and lo and behold, we see a detonator appear, explodes, one of the troopers survives, and guess who landed? Boba Fett is full armor right there, and more vicious and deadlier than ever. He started massacring those stormtroopers left and right. They knew they're fucked. I say this was the best episode because when is the last you get to see finally Boba Fett right there, get his armor back and fully go Terminator style right there to those stormtroopers. They manage to retreat. He uses jetpack to destroy one of them, but as he destroys one, the other falls on another, in which both of them crash. But unfortunately, tragedy strikes. A mysterious blast shot and destroyed the Razor Crest, and of course, it was Moff Gideon's ship. Both of us sees Moff Gideon's ship up there, which of course he's about to move to Slave 1 out of position. Soon Moff Gideon orders the Dark Troopers to be launched to retrieve the child, Grogu, which they did. Mando was about to try to get to Grogu, but it was too late. The Dark Troopers managed to capture Grogu. Boba Fett follows them, and when he sees the Imperial Light Cruiser, he knew that the Empire has returned. But unfortunately, as Mando scours the wreck, the only thing that was left was the Beskar spear. That's when Boba Fett shows the chain code on his armor and tell him the truth that it belonged to his family, which of course, yes. He thanks Mando for giving back his armor, but the deal is still made. Until the child is safe, he and Fennec Shan are in their debt. Soon back on in the light cruiser, Gideon enters the cell and sees Grogu attacking two stormtroopers with the Force, slinging them back and forth like ragdolls. Unfortunately, he gets tired and he gets stunned by a stormtrooper, given handcuffs, and also Gideon showed him the Darksaber, which caught his attention. Back on Navarro, there was a deleted scene where Grief Karga was waiting for Mando, but no. Grief Karga recognized the ship. And when he was waiting for him, he comes face to face with Boba Fett because both of them knew each other, who they were. Which is, I kind of don't know why he didn't kept it in the episode. That's kind of sad right there. That would be pretty good to see those two interact. How Grief Karga and Boba Fett would react. But, unfortunately, I don't know why. Soon, Mando talks to Kara, who is now the Marshal of the New Republic, but fortunately, she asks to help him break a criminal, which is Mayfield, out of the prison because she tells her that the child has been captured by Moff Gideon. So we get to chapter 15, The Believer. We meet Mayfield at looks like a scrapyard prison, dismounting old Imperial TIE fighters. Which, of course, he's been transferred by the Marshal. I got like he gets spooked by Boba Fett while he was Mando until Mando appears. And damn, Boba gets a new paint job, upgrade to his armor. A new color job for his armor. Soon, they ask him where the location of Moff Gideon's ship is, which of course he denies it. The only way they can find it is at a terminal at one place, which is on Morak, which is a secret Imperial mining hub. There, they arrive there, which of course there's a problem. The terminal has its face scan, which let's just say Karen won't do it. Fennec Shand won't do it. Even Boba Fett, he says they might recognize my face, which of course he's a clone, which will be pretty obvious. Soon, Mando agrees, which of course, lucky for him, both the Imperial pilots wear helmets, so lucky for him. Which, to tell you the truth, I want to skip this whole thing. It's going to be pretty boring. But it's actually pretty cool seeing, let's just say, Mayfield and Mando, let's just say, getting comfortable, even Mando getting comfortable wearing Imperial armor. As he arrives, let's just say he manages to get to the terminal, remove his helmet, gets to the location of the Imperial light cruiser, and gets stalled by Mayfield's former Imperial commanding officer. While talking a lot, he manages to shoot him, and of course, whole hell breaks loose. And you know the rest, because sorry. Let's just say I want to get to the ending, which is actually pretty cool. We see him off Gideon's light cruiser. Mando sends a message that he will get the child back, one way or another. Soon we arrive at the final episode for season 2, The Rescue, which is written by Peyton Reed directed by Peyton Reed and written by Jon Favreau. We see them chasing an Imperial shuttle, which contains Dr. Pershing. We have a confrontation between the Imperial pilots, which one of them is holding Pershing at gunpoint. Unfortunately, this pilot manages to shoot his co-pilot and is still holding the gun at Pershing, which of course he's taunting Kara because she's actually from Alderaan, and he's witnessing, telling that he was on the Death Star when her planet was destroyed. Which of course, she shoots him in the face, which also scarred Pershing's ear. Which, yeah. Ouch. Inside. Soon they arrive at a bar where they want to find Bo-Katan, which of course, let's just say things get a bit too messy when Bo-Katan and Boba Fett starts to insult each other. Like, she knows that Boba Fett is a clone because she heard the sound of his voice thousands of times. Even is calling him a disgrace because when Boba made a comment about Mandalore, it's now a crystal-lized planet. A fight between Boba Fett and Koska, but Bo-Katan told them to stop. Jesus. The whole squad talks about the plan, and Pershing revealing what's on the light cruiser, a squad of dark troopers, which, let's just say they're droids, but deadlier. Of course, the plan is simple. They take the Imperial fight shuttle and have Boba Fett shoot at them to get the light cruiser to let them inside. Which, of course, it worked. But somehow Gideon recognized Bo-Katan's voice. And soon, let's say a whole fight breaks inside the ship, which they display in the teams. Mando goes for the child, while the rest go to the bridge, led by Bo-Katan, which she wants the Darksaber and kill Gideon. What Kara wants him alive because he's a valuable prisoner and wanted by the New Republic. As they manage to arrive at the bridge, Gideon ain't there. Mando's headed there. But first he has to get rid of the Dark Troopers, but unfortunately, the Dark Troopers were activated. They start marching. He shuts one of the doors, but one comes out, and he has trouble fighting one off. Until he stabs it with a Beskar spear, just in deactivating it. He manages to send all of them he managed to send all of them to space by opening the blast doors. Soon as he arrives at the cell, he sees Gideon holding at neck point at Grogu with the dark saber, threatening to kill him. But of course, Mando tells him he doesn't care, but the dark saber he only wants the child, which of course he agrees, but somehow double crosses and about to attack him. Luckily, Mando defeats Gideon with using the Beskar spear, which of course he's now the owner of the dark saber. Which, by Gideon's face, this is gonna be good. While Bo-Katan is being, impatient, Mando walks in the bridge with Gideon as his prisoner, with the child, and also the dark saber. Which, of course, is when Bo-Katan had this look when he's about to give her the dark saber, that's when Gideon mentions that he cannot have it because she hasn't earned it in combat. Which, of course, that was the reason why she wants to find Gideon and defeat him. The only way to earn the darksaber is by winning it in combat, which was mentioned in Star Wars Rebels by Sabine's mother, which she mentioned how she got the saber from Maul, which Sabine tells her that she found the saber in Maul's hideout in Dathomir, which of course doesn't count as earning it, which she says anyone can hold the saber, it's by earning it in combat. Which, I don't think somebody could defeat Darth Maul. Which, remember, this guy is one hell of... This is a Sith Lord that has been trained from a young age from Palpatine, so... That's a bit tricky. Of course, it turns out, Mando wants to give it to her, but she can't, because... The person holding the darksaber doesn't have a story. The saber does. And he calls her a pretender to the throne because she no longer can have the darksaber as long as Mando's alive. Soon they have a new problem. The Dark Troopers return because they are droids. They have jetpacks, which of course he managed to make a comment saying that, man, you had trouble dealing with one. How about a whole platoon? Soon an X-Wing appears, which of course, that's when Grogu knows who this is. Soon, they watch on the security screen, and lo and behold, that's when Bo-Katan knows what it is. It's a Jedi. And we see Moff Gideon's face change from cynic to callous to fear. And not just any Jedi. This Jedi has a green lightsaber and one hand has a black glove. Slicing and destroying the Dark Troopers. Gideon knew that's a Jedi coming up to save them. Gideon was about to shoot the child, but Mando managed to block the blast with his armor. He's about to kill himself, but Cara knocks the blast off his hand and knocks him out with the butt of her rifle. Soon, as the Jedi annihilated all the Dark Troopers, Mando opens the blast doors, and guess who it is? Luke Skywalker. Right there. And fun fact, this was played by Mark Hamill. Well, sort of. Let me explain. Mark Hamill did reprise his role as Luke Skywalker, but Max Lloyd Jones serving as a on-set body double for the character. So we see Luke asking Grogu to come to him, which of course he sends to him. But fortunately, Grogu can't go without Mando's permission. Mando tells Grogu it's time to go. He's one of his own. But Grogu wants something more. He wants to see his face. Soon Mando takes off his helmet and shows him his face, which this is the most emotional part. You see Grogu touching his cheek right there as it's about the time to go. And guess who also returns? R2-D2 right there. And you see R2 right there talking to Grogu like they know each other. I guess they do, since R2 hanged out at the Jedi Temple a lot, so I guess he must have seen Grogu. Soon they leave with this music right there. We see Luke carrying Grogu to the elevator along with and R2 following. The man arrives at the elevator. Grogu waves goodbye, and it ends right there. With a sad face, see Mando tearing up. Also, we had a post-cred scene, which this become one of the best post-cred scenes ever. We're back on Tatooine, and guess who's right there? Bib Fortuna, who's now the new ruler, taking Jabba's place on the throne. Soon, chaos ensues, which of course Fennec Shand has to beat some of the guards and also free a Twi'lek slave. Boba Fett appears, which Bib say, "Ah, Boba, you live! I was worried!" And Boba just shoot him right there, cold-blooded. And Bib Fortuna has been played by... shit. Sorry, I just have to check everything. By Matthew Wood. And this ain't the first time. He played the character in episode 1, The Phantom Menace, which he appeared as Bib Fortuna in the role in The Phantom Menace during the pod race scene where we see Jabba with his entourage right up there, and we see him right there as Bib Fortuna right next to him at the pod races. Of course, finally we see Boba pushing off Bib's lifeless corpse to sit on the throne. We have the zing, dun 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 da 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 da. And lo and behold, a new series, The Book of Boba Fett, coming out next year. Ha! Which, this is a show come out there, and boy, that was that good. So yeah, folks, and that's it for season 2. We had a sad one, and also what's soon to be an upcoming return of the famed bounty hunter himself. Who knows? But for me, I'd say season 2 hasn't been the best one of all the series, because it brings a lot of characters from both the animation, places that have been mentioned in legends, canon, from books to you know where. But yeah, let me know what you think of The Mandalorian Season 2. Did you like it? Did you enjoy it? Did the final F season made you cry when Grogu and Mando had a parting ways as Grogu is about to leave with Luke to be trained? Hey, let me know in the comments down below, and if you're new to the channel, remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell, and remember the goal is to hit 1 million subscribers, or at least 500k. Until then, have a great day, everybody. Stay safe, stay cool, stay fresh, and may the Force be with you.